Hey guys, my name's Neil Martin-Mclean and I'm really grateful to Mags from Tour du Mont Blanc Hike to ask me to have a little word with you about training for your Tour du Mont Blanc. I'm a sports physiotherapist and I run a sports clinic here right at the foot of Mont Blanc in the heart of Chamonix. I'm a multiple finisher of the UTMB, so I know this route well. I know how hard it is, but I also know how beautiful it is, and I'm so psyched you're taking on this amazing adventure. Now then, in order to make this a more pleasurable experience for you, you can do some training before you get here. Obviously, endurance is going to be a huge part of it. You cannot replace these long days before you get here. They do so many things for you. You develop your endurance, but also it gives you a chance to test your equipment. It gives you a chance for your body to adapt and all these other things that start to change, and actually the things you don't realize until you get here that are going to be tough. So, talking about the training, well, the first thing you can do when you're back home, wherever you're coming from, is to start to add up your time on feet. You can do this by creating longer days, obviously. One thing we do with a lot of the runners, but also hikers, is to get people to do double days. Now that means doing double mountains. So whether you're in the lakes, you're out in Wales, you could be anywhere, but doing 2 hills in one day. You don't have to go to the top of the hill, but just the idea of being able to go up and come down and then have to repeat it. It's good for the feet, it's good for the legs, and it's good for the mind as well. Just knowing you're going to be capable of covering these long distances. On the actual tour itself, you may, depending on how you break it up, be covering up to 25, 30 kilometers a day with 1,000 or even 1,500 meters of ascent each day. The next big thing is being able to test your equipment. Now, the most important thing, the one thing that will ruin your experience really quickly, is having feet full of blisters. So if you spend some time in the shoes or the boots that you're going to be wearing for the tour, getting used to how they feel. What happens when they get wet? Do you need to change your sock combinations? Just test out lots of different things and become accustomed to how your equipment works. The next thing is how you pack your rucksack. Have you got everything accessible? Will you need it? The more days you do in preparation, the faster you get to know where you put things in your sack, and you will put things in the same place. So you've got the easy things you can grab. So you can get to your waterproofs, you can get to your water, you can get to anything you might need without having to think too much. The other thing as well, a lot of people arrive in the Alps, in the Chamonix, without walking poles. And these are just the best idea for the tour. Get collapsible ones, get used to using them, how they work, and feel for the difference. Because on those long days, and especially on the descents, having that extra little bit of feel, the ability to control your movement, it's fantastic. Okay, so that's a bit of the endurance side and a little bit of the equipment side. The next part is what you can do at home without even leaving the house in order to get yourself a little bit stronger and more robust for doing this tour. Now, I'm going to attach a sample program for you, which will take you through 4 to 6 weeks of basic training. You can repeat these. It's a few simple exercises. It won't take you very long to do, but I promise you, you will feel the difference. Now, the basics for all these are going to be doing squats, lunges, step-ups, some core work, and a little bit of balance work, okay? So, if we start off with the squats, simply all we're doing here is getting used to going up and down really smoothly and easily. If I show you side on, I'm going to try and keep a little bit of control through the front here. So I'm working down and coming back up. If you want to include the poles, you can. You can come down and push back up, okay? The idea here is to reproduce what we're going to be doing on the mountain, but just with a little bit of clarity and purity so that you get better at doing all these strength movements. So we have the squats through in there, and you can work through pace in through here. The important thing here is you're not overarching the back, okay? Try it with your sack on. It's going to be quite heavy. If you're working with a sack that's 10 to 15 kilos, try it. It changes the way you move. You have to lean further forwards, okay? Which means you have to use these muscles a bit more. The back here around the glutes, okay? It's very tough for the legs. Moving on, you've got lunges. And again, you start off with these for sure without any extra weight on and simply coming in and coming back out again. So you can alternate through here. If you've got creaky knees and you know you have to get these stronger, make it even simpler. Just go into a split squat. So you're starting from here, you're coming down to a little pause, and you're coming back up, okay? No matter where your start point is, if you start with an easy exercise and you build up gradually, you will improve, okay? So that's a little bit for the lunges through there. If you're going to start working on step-ups, if you've got stairs at home, again, with the sack on after a few progressions, but stepping up and coming up into a high position there, you're reaching down behind and coming up all the way through there, okay? And if you haven't got a step or something to use there, you can use that same movement, but as a back lunge. So from here, stepping back, bending that front leg nice and deeply here, and then coming up. If you keep the other leg in the air, you're getting a bit of balance as well, okay? So you're coming nicely down and stepping up. Coming down through to that position there and stepping up. With these big leg exercises, we're looking for lots of repetitions. We're looking for strength endurance. So we're looking to do 15 to 20 repetitions each time, okay? So you're starting to build in there, you're building up this capacity for work. And when you're doing thousands of steps every day, if you've done a bit of the actual strength work, each step that you take will take less toll on your body overall. So you just improve your overall threshold for what you can cope with, and the day feels much easier. And it's not just that first day. You've got to remember you're going to be out there for 4, 5, 6, 7 days on these tours, even up to 10 days if you're taking your time. So this bit of strength endurance will mean you don't accumulate the same amount of fatigue during the tour. Okay, so we can do a little bit of core work now. We can incorporate some heel and calf work. So if you lean against something, you try and keep the body nice and straight. You can lift one knee up and you can go up and down on those toes. If I show you side on here, the key thing here is to keep the core nice and strong so you're not arching the back and you haven't got your bum sticking out the back here. So you're lifting one knee there and you can see I'm just going up and down smoothly on that foot, okay? Again, if you can manage around 15 to 20, I'm sure that you will have enough strength in those calves. And you think about how much work those calves do when you're hiking, it's tough. So every little bit here is a bonus. A little bit of balance work just to finish off. Do this with your shoes on or your boots, do it with the sack on, and again, just practice balancing into a neutral position. If you can, imagine just leaning forwards a little bit and coming back up. You can move to the side a little bit. You can move there. You can have your poles in your hands and imagine you're planting them one after the other. So you're picking different points and you're actually reaching and touching through to there. Try and do about 20, 30 seconds. Switch over and go to each side. Again, all the details for this will be in the program attached. Now, the big message here is train before to enjoy the tour more. If you do a little bit before you go, I promise you the whole experience will be much more enjoyable. You'll be able to take in the scenery more and you won't accumulate that fatigue you get through the entire tour. If you would like any more specific information, a bespoke program, or if you have any problems whilst you're here, you'd like to discuss injury management before you go, just please click on the link in the description. But anyhow, I wish you a very good tour. Enjoy your training and just enjoy coming to the Alps and just have a fantastic Tour du Mont Blanc.